Hello, this is Master Limited back for another video. This time it's continuing as last time. Kaganovich is still in power. We're finishing off the reformation of the Commercial. Then we will go down this tree, giving us 5-year term limits. Then go down this tree, then what to do? Then do the 7th year 5-year plan, and then finally finish that. Hopefully we get to see the Arab-Iraqi war. Now probably make that happen. We still need to watch Turkey like a hawk, just in case the the September coup doesn't happen. Just in case the the 6th of September coup will happen either way. We just need to keep it on our side, basically. Still influencing, I think it's Guinea. By the way, first cycle day, PP2222. Another anti-Juche coup, even though Kim Il-sung is not in charge, it was John Sang-ak, was chosen and executed in a bloody coup responsible for Sung's Juche program behind the pledged military. So now it's led by Kim Jang-bong. Where they're either going to side with the Soviets, and since Mao isn't technically alive, it would technically be this way, although since we're still Stalinist, it would also be this way, so it's a split. Although since they're already part of Khalkhin / Warsaw Pact, they're probably going to go this way. Not quite yet. Still watching Nigeria, but with their largely communist support. Sadly, we can't do anything. Same with Congo because of this war thing in Laos and Cambodia. You know what? Screw it. I gain more stuff by just... I can't get rid of my units. Key to bug. Tag Vin. I win more with Finland. Tag Lao. I'm sorry, Laos and Cambodia. Apologies. But we already got, in some ways, a communist Vietnam, so who really cares? So tag solve. Debug. Thank you. So rest in peace those two troops. I will not care. Because we've got more important things like the increasing the lower ranks of responsibilities to weed out fellow travelers. Why I say fellow travelers, but not just travelers, we will not know. Now, introduce voting for the head of Commercial. Unlike the so-called Western democracies, with air quotes, Soviet planet democracy covers all facets of life, from workplaces to party organs. By allowing our Commercial members to elect heads of organizations, we can raise the generation familiar with with and fully commit to the cause of Soviet democracy. Even more Leninism. You're limiting your approachment with Iran. You're still doing that. You're integrating back into the Eastern Bloc even though you left. And finally, establish a dependent state in you, becoming the Workers' Republic of Guinea. I don't remember what was the plan previously. You're dissolving Parliament. Not big enough, not big enough. I think it was either Dahomey or somewhere else. I was thinking going with, Algeria because the Lioness faction was supported, so, and it's bigger than Dahomey, so, well, no, actually Dahomey is bigger than them. I'll start influencing Dahomey. Get some PP. Watching you like a hawk. Sorry. Markets. What's everyone else doing? You're doing that. You're encouraging political loyalty in leadership roles. You're expanding urban infrastructure. You're getting Coca-Cola socialism. You're expanding urban infrastructure. You're doing internationalization. You're isolating Albania. You can't do anything. You're temporarily allowing limited private activities. You're ratifying the arrangement, whatever that is, getting American aircraft designs, you're getting distinguished admirals, you're cutting taxes, you can't do anything, you're getting heavy development programs, you're getting traditional sexual norms, you're getting army colleges, you're getting heavy industry investments, you're getting naval bombers, you're getting Chinese support, you can't do anything, you're getting temperance, you can't do anything, you're getting fleet of view, you're getting environmental debates. It would be very funny if I could get Mexico. Sadly I can't. Not for communism. I actually could get Guinea, now that I see it. I'll probably get Guinea after I've done Dahomey. Then I'll do Algeria, and then I'll probably forget before I even do any of those. Speaking of which, how is the spawn Dahomey? 50. Again, the Northern counter-coup. Cambodia is in a civil war. Please do not. Oh, thank you. Both sides are frozen. The Cambodian ruler Prince Sin Hoc recently accepted an anti-communist government under Prime Minister Lon Nol to fix the economy. Lon Nol initiated an aggressive price harvesting campaign where heavily armed troops marched into countryside, forcibly collecting rights and paying president's low rates. This provoked an uprising, which Lon Nol violently suppressed. This uprising pushed Prince Hoc to finally turn against the leftists as he ordered his crackdown. However, these actions have only provoked the Communist Khmer Rouge Party to launch an insurgency against the government. The plan of using support from neighboring communist parties and experience from Vietnam guide the forces against the Cambodian government to break down the leftist resistance once and for all. Concerning Get that. Now introduce the Political Control Commission into the Communist Party of the Soviet Union's regional work. The Communist Party of the People's Control Commission has so far been focused on national party infrastructures, but the regional and Republican branches of the Communist Party must now be subject to popular scrutiny. We cannot allow corruption or incompetence at any level of government, lest we lose the sight of the road of communism. Then we go down this way, then we go down this way, and boom. You getting destroyed so that I can gain more communist allies. Get random access memory. I have tried white piecing. Every time it just breaks the game, it crashes and I can't fix it. So it is what it is. I'm deeply sorry. But some must die for the rest to live. Wise words were never said more. So yeah. Which means I can now take the communist countries inside. Wait, can I? Yes, I can. So once I've done that, I'm gonna take Congo. Then probably Tanzania. Congo, Tanzania, Uganda. Can't do either of you. Kenya. Definitely Nigeria. Maybe Cameroon. Maybe. Not Somalia. Not you. Not you. Not you. Not you. Not you. Maybe the UAR, but that's basically a British puppet. Increase funding for you. Increase funding for you. Keeping the military low. Our allies are still doing the same stuff as last time. You're supporting the Ulbricht doctrine. You're encouraging Kurdish peaceful resistance. Thankfully, I don't think there is a caption, so if they do the herbal conference, it doesn't counteract support Kurdish resistance and a powerless offensive, so that's good. Yeah, homie, you are very close. Sorry for the amount of hacking. But to spread communism, you just gotta do a bit of gaming, a bit of trolling, if you will. Also, what the hell does the International Monetary Fund have more influence in Turkey than I do, even though I, more or less, my puppet. Dependent state, becoming the People's Republic of Benin, which is actually true. This did actually happen. Dahomey did become a communist puppet state. deal with this first. The German-Soviet Economic Agreement ratified. The German-Soviet Economic Agreement has finally been ratified by our government and the German Democratic Republic. This new treaty confirms the strong ties between us and Germany. We acceded to several German requests which did hinder the overall benefit we received from the treaty. However, in the name of greater socialist cooperation and strengthening the economic ties of key allies, we accepted this. I hope the Germans will recognize our generosity and it in the future return the favor. Good. Geothermal power, get pest-resistant crops. You're limiting union influence in consumer sectors. EV 2222. Finally make you a dependent state. And bring the Congo into the socialist fold. Excluding, weirdly enough, South Kansai, which is still independent for some god unknown reason. Excluding Katanga. So start influencing you. Alright. Next we shall establish the multi-member deputy districts. There is no democracy without socialism, no socialism without democracy. Adhering to these principles, some districts of the Supreme Soviet should assign multiple deputies to the larger population and will be fairly represented within the ranks of the party, so that their larger populations will be fairly represented within the ranks of the party. 30 minutes to the end of the video, 1.5, give or take. So the new thing, you're constructing entrenched heavy artillery positions. Back to the war footing. You're embracing traditional traditions. Do you still have your? Yeah, you still have your thing. You're just not doing the White Revolution. Weirdly enough. You're demilitarizing the Turkish border. You're introducing mandatory attendance. Our agents got captured. God damn it, Nigeria. Thank God it's a time. They sadly did not succeed. No matter, we'll just have to do it the old-fashioned way. Hold out for us for a second, would you? I get this is gonna glitch the whole focus tree out, but, you know, screw it. Like, cheetah bug, tag nigger, NGA. Put it on here. Whole Russian. Wait. My foolish brain. In. I can do something much easier and much better. Sorry if you don't like this. But auto complete. We're doing a slight KGB cooing. Haha, haha. Focus. No checks. So, the Nigerian Liberation Army takes over. Tunji Otegbere, Socialist Workers and Farmers Party of Nigeria, but only founded a few years ago, has managed to infiltrate a sizable group of university-educated younger officers who were part of the students' movement, protesting with the right level of luck and precise planning and thanks to the Soviet cooperation and a precise coup made involving the murder of Johnson and Willie Aronsi, our only government buildings in Kunduru and Lagos were effectively captured. The lack of any current junta leadership allowed Nigerian Liberation Army to begin asserting control of the nation. The name of the party will bring an end to ethnic conflicts in Nigeria by establishing a Marxist-Leninist state. Many ideas beyond synthetic cause, especially by the Labour Union circle, add one party state, yada yada yada, new era for Nigeria. As part of the Moscow-backed coup, Tunji Otegbere, Socialist Workers Farmers Party of Nigeria, has come to power in Nigeria, recognized as a party of the traditionalist old left. Has Otegbere has established himself long before the founding of his party through being a very successful trade union, student protest organizer, and now finds himself taking over the administration of the transitional government. For the next few years, the nation will be under martial law from the Nigerian Liberation Army, newly formed Red Guard-style militia, as authority it is asserted throughout the nation once national security is achieved. Otegbere has a multi-point plan in which he claims through dialectic understanding of the world that Nigerians will no longer experience the issues of ethnic infighting which have plagued the nation since the early colonial days, another failure of containment. So this guy is now in charge, led by the Socialist Workers Farmers Party in the Nigerian Liberation Army, where it will become the Democratic People's Republic of Nigeria. Focus.nochecks. Focus.autocomplete. Tag solve. Thank you, big brother Stalin in heaven. And I continue to influence it so we get the fully Moscow aligned party part. How close are we after we can do a manned soft landing? 205 days. Oh wait. Damn it, I forgot to palm the timer. I think the last one made. So 6 minutes. Oh, that's it. Set timer for 6 minutes.
6 minutes, starting now.
Actual machine. Clanker. Broken. Sorry about that. The timer wasn't actually on. Thankfully, it wasn't too bad. So, yeah. There you go, tank phone. Egypt closes the Tiran Straits. In the latest excavation at the Sinai, the Egyptian President Khalid el-Nokrashi this guy announced the closing of the Strait of Tiran to all ships destined for Israel, declaring the ships attempting to violate the blockade will be fired upon. This news follows the real militarization of Sinai by Egyptian forces on the 14th of May and the demand for expulsion of UN peacekeepers on the 16th of May. The 28th. Nasser has declared that We are the people. We are ready for war. These waters are ours. If Israel wishes to threaten war, we will tell her you are welcome. Earlier this month, Israeli Prime Minister Peretz Bernstein repeated the warning of 1957, and any closure of the strait would be seen as an act of war. Reports have arrived that Israel tanks its movement in response to the Egyptians deploy the Sinai. Tensions are mounting in the region as diplomats try to resolve the crisis before escalation and are any further. Israel receives 90% of its oil through the straits, and observers view it as a grave threat to the economy. Arabs across the region are being galvanized by Khalid al-Nokrashi's actions and eagerly support its policies toward Israel. Interesting. You don't even have a focus tree anymore, so who cares? Continue what you're looking for. You're creating a robust healthcare system. You continue as last time. You're encouraging United Arab Republic membership. Okay, so two things happen at Loves. Loving v. Virginia, in a landmark decision, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of the Loving family and ruled anti-misogynist, non-misogynist, miscegenation laws are unlawful. The court rule violates the rule that anti-miscegenation laws violate equal protection laws, and that they are not impressed, least by the argument that such laws affect both races equally, thus do not violate any one group. And the courts know the law only draws the distinction of race over the practice of marriage, which is widely accepted. It practiced, thus making the law discriminatory. The results will open doors to interracial marriages across the United States. The case is when the Loving family was arrested for violating the Virginia laws against interracial unions of marriages. In Washington, D.C., they took the case to Supreme Court upon the verdict. The couple is expected to resume living in Virginia with their young family. Progress. The second Malaysian emergency has started in Malaysia after the communist rebels have gained more support from the communist nation, and they have gained in some of the countryside and are advancing the new task force from the Commonwealth to help. Communism on the rise? ? So they haven't brought anyone in, so I'm going to do something real quick because I want to see these guys succeed. T-debug. Set owner MLA. 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 And finally, set owner MLA. T-debug. Oh, don't say you. Oh. Well, I tried. I think I should have deleted the troops. President Barry Goldwater announced the federal government will respect state rights and no longer force the federal agenda on individual states. Also, I need to do it, folks, because I have 3 seconds of remaining and it's about to go off now. Yes, I like to stop. No longer forces a federal agenda in individual states. Parry goal would emphasize the federal requirements and court orders must be implemented, but stated states must be allowed to implement them on their own terms in order to ensure the stable and friendly atmosphere across the country. The announcement was met with condemnation, especially from activists and civil rights groups who argue not forcing states to comply with federal directives will see them perpetrate their system of injustice and avoid making a drastic change necessary, a return of segregation. And finally, to end this off, we will do let the Supreme Soviet vote for the General Secretary. The General Secretary is currently elected by rank of Politburo, the smaller body that governs the Soviet Union when the Supreme Soviet is not in session. Given this power, the Supreme Soviet is itself ensured that the high ranks of our party will not turn into a new bourgeoisie, but remains accountable to the party and the people as a whole. So this is the end of the video. I tried to make sure the Malay Liberation Army succeeded, but sadly things just didn't turn out that way. So, yeah. RIP Malaysia. Rest in peace, Laos and Communist Vietnam. But honest to God, we couldn't really get you to succeed, or it would be in a forever war for years, and several communist countries would be classified as part of NATO. So hey ho. And now I can't even do that. The 6th of September coup is still hasn't happened yet. So, same as the Arab-Iraqi war. Still can't wait for it though. Ours are doing stuff, you're increasing funding for mosques, you're creating robust healthcare, you're doing the same as last time, constructing heavy artillery positions, you're encouraging United Arab Republic membership, you're constructing tractor manufacturing plants in Sophia, you're naval bases, you're boosting the ZPG or Zlava Pioneer Yugoslavia membership. You're getting screen projects, your international development funds. You're proposing the United Austrian Olympic team. You can't do anything. You're getting Comic-Con aid. You're getting Seek Soviet credit. You're getting screen projects, rural development projects. Can't do anything. Yeah. Point Health Minister, you're siding with the Soviets because you're in our faction. You're revising urban planning, you can't do anything. You can't do anything. You're expanding the academies. You're getting Scandinavian support. You can't do anything. You can't do anything. You can't do anything. You're getting progressive transgender action. You can't do anything. You're building interstates. You're getting light armor projects, and you're getting Court of Terror. Hey, Guerrilla's independent fully this time, instead of just rejoining after a few months of being independent. Very interesting stuff. Well, anyway, this has been Mountain Limited signing off. Rest in peace, Malaysia. You'll probably never be independent ever again. And at least under socialist liberation, at least. So yeah, at least we got the Congo. So we expand furthermore, and may Malaysia rest in peace. At least we got communist Nigeria. So we lose some, we gain some. Anyway, this has been Mountain signing off. Hope you have a good day. Hope you have a good night. Hope to see you when I see you. Anyway, place you with Vasily Kuznetsov. And hope to see you next time. Hope to see you again. Bye bye.